I think it's the cave that you get from the quest that you get, Skeleton Key, I think. Yeah, dropping all the history on you guys. Dropping all my life history, alright. But technically I already remade that set. I made Drax out of it. I don't know, out of all my sets, other than the one that I made for just myself for Bond playthroughs, which, if you guys are asking which one's my favorite, now, I'm going to take this into the perspective as like a father figure, where like all my creations are technically my children. Like all of my mod sets and stuff like that, they're all my like children and stuff like that. Like I have no favorites. But if I had to say which one I would most likely use more, is Dremor. I just like his damage. It just does so much damage, and it drains the opponent so much that it just makes it like too unbearable that nothing can survive him. Now, if I had to say with my equipment for mod playthrough is which one is my favorite, I'd have to say my mod playthrough set. Mind you, it is still incomplete because I don't have a heal spell on it. And that will be on the amulet that I'm going to be making for it. So, hooray. So, when it is finished with all the 11, technically 11 sets, finished up and ready to go, I will have a download thing either on the Nexus or Google Drive. If Google Drive, I can actually monitor how many people are actually downloading it. I'll have to check that out. The reason why I don't want it to be tied to the Nexus is because I don't want all the creators to like hate on me and stuff like that. Mind you, they will have credits and stuff like that in the file, and not only that, they will have it also in the on the description as well. But since I didn't technically get their permission to do it, I don't know if putting on the Nexus would be the safest bet for it. So that's why I'm thinking Google Drive would be the safer option. I'll also talk about this in Oblivion as well. But again though, like, I don't mind putting it on the Nexus and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't really care for the Nexus. My only thing is that I don't want my Nexus account to be banned just because, oh, somebody really wanted it to be on the somebody really wanted my mod to be on the Nexus. And it's not like I don't care, it's just that like I don't want to lose my Nexus account because, mind you, I have all the mods that I've ever downloaded except for I think one or a couple of Oblivion ones, but those ones are just because I don't want them back anymore. And I think Skyrim, I think I have all the ones I want, or that I had. And they're all through Nexus Mod Manager, which is a god thing. I'm happy. I just wish it would have worked for Oblivion, because then I only need to download one program instead of two. But the problem is that Nexus Mod Manager doesn't load OMods. Yeah! Whoever's working on the Nexus Mod Manager, please fix it so that it accepts them, because then I will definitely use Nexus Mod Manager for both of my games instead of just one, which is Skyrim. I would be definitely a happy person if that happens. Do I need to use this thing on this guy? Use it on you. Yeah. Oh, he exploded. Well, that's new. He's dead. Kill him. Mind you, I am going to say this. With my mod equipment, or my mod playthrough set, I made it powerful in a way, but I also didn't. Because even if you start, because the way that my mod works is that you can also have my set at the beginning. Mind you, it won't always be onto the public display that you can actually see it there. But from my perspective for it, It's actually fun if you actually do it like that. But yeah. So when my mod does go available for anybody to download, whenever I get it all fixed up and I get all the 10 sets to being used, and I find out how to get everybody who has a cape to equip their cape all the time, which I'm thinking like a player dot like equip item or something like that would work, but I don't know. But I will ask anybody on the Nexus post, because the spell icons, I am gonna level with you. The spell icons are more just so like I just don't want all of them to have the same icon. And the whole text thing again is also the same thing with the icon. I don't want all of them to say script effect for 60 seconds. You can't just say summon Dramor for 60 seconds, or summon whoever for 60 seconds, or summon whatever. Mind you, I have like technically 9 summons. 2 of them act like the Midas chest, which is amazing. I can't believe it's literally it's an easy code, and I'm sitting there going, Midas, you went above and beyond on everything in your mod, but yet you make it look like it's so difficult to code that literally I felt like I needed to go back to school and learn more coding. Because I'm trying to see, here's the difference between the coding that I learned and the coding that Oblivion uses. It's not that I'm not bad at coding, mind you. I've been to 2 different coding classes, so coding's not the problem with me. It's translating it so though Oblivion reads it like, oh, if this happens, do this. Oh, okay. To me, that's a typical if statement. It's pretty simple. Me, it's where am I supposed to locate it? Because if statements, you can locate it wherever you want. Doesn't really matter. But for Oblivion, I don't know which if statement it reads. Does it read the first one? And then if you end the if there, okay, so it ends that. Then does it go to the next one? This is the problem with me and scripting in Oblivion. This is why I don't know much about it. It's not that I'm bad at coding. It's just that I don't know how to translate it to what Oblivion uses. And even if you tell me the programming language, I'm still not going to know how Oblivion reads it. And that's why I went to the Nexus post. Like, as soon as I first had the boots as the problem, I'm like, okay, I have, like, since everything is new to me, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to see if anybody can help me. That's the first instinct I had, because that's usually what happens in schools, is that you usually, if you run into a problem, you ask the person who knows what they're doing. Mind you, I did fix these summons based on what somebody did tell me. Let's see. Like, the 2 people that have been helping me in the forums, I thank you so much. The summons are great. I just need to put in that you can't summon multiple versions of them. That's it. That's all I really need to do. And I need to check to see if the Oblivion session is actually going to take a long time to actually... Oh my god. So I showcased my mod, and I don't know how long it took, because we did the entire beginning part of the portion of the whole sewers and everything, and then we showed off the house, and then I showed off all the summons and stuff like that. And I did a little bit of backstory as well. And the reason why I did the whole little backstory is so you guys understand why all their abilities and all that are portioned of other characters and stuff like that, and I'm stuck. There we go. Okay, so we have about an hour left. It's fine. So I'm going to say this. My raiment in this regard for my mod is... By the way, I'm staying away from Aura Kingdom because there's nothing interesting to talk about with Aura Kingdom. For my Oblivion mod, my raiment, which is known as Mr. Bowman 99's raiment, comes with 10 spells. All the 10 spells are not unique. They're not like, oh, they're only specially built for my raiment. What they actually are is that they are specially classed spells that I think to myself that are really good from all the other different classes, because they all have different builds and such like that. Now, the last 3 that I'm going to be making, though, they're going to be different in many regards. So they're going to be based off of the original 3, which if you don't know what the original 3 armor sets that I technically made are, they're known as Drax, Dremor, and Cal Knight. All in that order, too. Those were the original 3. 3 days ago, I made 4 new sets. I made Corinx, which was technically the original one that we've actually been using for the mod playthroughs. I made Drumpf. I also made, what's their names? Karak and Worf. So literally, I made 4 sets in one day, and they all worked correctly. And then before I finished putting Worf's meshes and textures to work and all that kind of stuff in the construction set, I found out that I messed up on the icons. The meshes and textures were fine, it was the icons. So literally their directory was all wrong that I wanted. So, and then I was going to be really angry because I have to fix that. And that's going to take at least 10-20 minutes. But I was angry because I should have found that out when I did Drax, or even Cal Knight, or whatever. No, I found it out when I was just starting Worf, and I was really pissed off because I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend one day, fix all of them. I'm not going to do the other 2 until I fix this. And I fixed it right when I finished doing all that. I was letting Camtasia do his thing with the first video of the other Oblivion mod, and I apologize for that. Thirsty. All right. Oh no! A big attack is coming! Oh no! You'll hide behind me! No! Didn't give me the thing. Give me. No! Give me that then. Whatever. I don't care anymore. You'll give it to me when you ever want to. And our strength. So whenever I do find a way to do this, I'll be sure to do it in the mod. So what each and every one of them is going to have is that they're going to have abilities that have when you equip their entire sets. Now, they're only going to be attached to the Cuirass, because they're only supposed to add 2 spells to you. One is an ability, the other is a powerful spell that only they can learn. Other than my Raiment. My Raiment will be the ignoring of all of them, because it doesn't really care in the story. But in my story, each and every one of them has... I don't want to steal it from another show, but technically it acts just like it. So pretty much what these are is that these are each and every person has a special ability that only they know of. The only difference is between Cal Knight and Dremor, it is related by blood, because they're both the Cal Knight brothers. The reason why Cal Knight is named Cal Knight instead of what his original name is because he never actually says it in the entire series. So he never actually does say it. His real name is Chorus. Anyway, Chorus with a K. It never actually says his name in the series, so nobody actually does know his name other than me and pretty much everybody else now. So the reason why everybody has these unique abilities is because it kind of works well because each and every one is unique. Karak is an explosion that he's completely protected from, but he actually does do a lot of damage to anybody else who is closer to the explosion, and then far from the explosion, you take a little bit of damage from it. So literally, it's just an explosive shield, I guess you could consider it as. Whereas Corinx is his invisibility that I've used in my Raiment. Mind you, health should be being drained, but I think that's because the troll generation's kind of negating that, so hooray for that. And the reason why Corynx has his invisibility that drains himself is because when he uses his invisibility, he's completely invisible. Nobody can see him whenever he does something. The problem is that it hurts him while he's invisible. It's taxing. It's taking his stamina type of thing. Like, it's taking his strength along with it to stay invisible. So that is why when I was deciding to make the spell, I made it early than I should have. But because I was going to give Corynx an invisibility spell anyway, or most of my classes do have one, or most of my armor sets, I should say, have an invisibility. Corynx is the only unique one where it's Chameleon. Now, literally, before I made the spell, I was researching about Chameleon because I had a spell that had 100% Chameleon for, I think, 60 seconds or something like that. And literally, all the enemies could find me, and I was really concerned on why they could find me. I was really, really confused. Why do they see me? And I found out why. That's because when you wear armor, no matter if it's light or heavy, your spell effectiveness goes down. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, that doesn't really affect too much. Not when your spell limit only adds to 100% and you really just wanted an invisibility spell. That literally is Chameleon that only goes up to 100% and doesn't go down. Yeah, I got really angry at that because literally